hello and maayong hapon kaninyong tanan. Before we welcome our next speaker, allow me to read a few shout-outs from our viewers all over the Philippines. I'm going to be reading them on my phone. Good afternoon, everyone watching from Dumaguete. Hi to our friends in Dumaguete. We also have a comment here. Good afternoon, everyone. Amping Tanan, watching from Penrose, Cebu, DENR 7. Hi, thank you so much for the support. We also have viewers from Marcos, Ilocos Norte. We also have viewers from Lapu-Lapu City and Davao del Sur. Clark Harold Flores is saying, greetings, watching from Tesda, Pisat, Lingayen, Pangasinan. Hello po, good afternoon po sa inyong lahat there. And Fang Villanueva is saying, sending our support all the way from DTI Bukidnon Provincial Office. Viewers also from Siquijor. And good afternoon, everyone watching from Negros College Incorporated of Ayungon, Negros Oriental. So amazing yun kayo ang technology, guys. Because even if we are unable to be physically with each other, lagyo man tinud anay no? But we are still able to learn from each other, and that is because of technology. Speaking of technology, we are going to further our knowledge sa atong mga nahibawan sa nakatuna nato kang Dr. Nina Gloriani pamaagi sa pagsabot sa technologies sa contact tracing. That is right. Pinaagi sa ato ang ikaduhang speaker karong hapuna, kinsa usa ka certified Google Sprint Master and is the country's first Google developer expert. He has been strongly supporting the Philippine startup ecosystem by facilitating and mentoring at startup weekends and other events. So now, without further ado, our speaker is Mr. Albert Padin. Albert, take it away.
Thanks, Bea. Hi, everybody. I'll be talking about contact tracing technologies. We only have 15 minutes for this talk, so I will be very brief and direct to the point. So first, I want to talk about the individual apps, technologies out there that individuals can use in order to participate in contact tracing, as Dr. mentioned a while ago. So how do individual apps, contact tracing apps work? So they work by automatically detecting a person's close contact with other people, right? So whenever we have contact with other people, the apps automatically detect this. And they detect this using technology, which is our phone, for example. And when one phone is in close proximity with another person's phone, those phones, if they have the app installed, they automatically register, oh, I've been in close contact with this other person because I sensed their phone nearby. Or because of the GPS location was close, they then automatically log this. Of course, they use different privacy respecting tools in order to respect your privacy, but the core of it is that they keep a log of the contacts that you have had using the phone technology in the app. Okay, so what happens next is if somebody has a symptom, like develops a symptom, then that person will then notify the system that they have developed symptoms, and then the app can then notify the people's close contacts that, oh, you have a person in your contact that has had is developing symptoms, so it's best that you take precautions, and you should also have yourself checked and start observing as well, and maybe even go into self-isolation. So that's what the app can do to help stop the spread of the virus. So some examples of this that I know of, and there are many actually. So we have the WeTrace app. This one is in Cebu. We had the StaySafe.ph. I think this one is more of like a national thing. An international app that I could think of was Novid. So Novid is interesting because it uses ultrasound to basically detect what other devices are nearby, which is also I would say to a certain degree more accurate. Okay, so it works by detecting, it creates an automatic contact list based on proximity. So for example, you are this lady over here and you're just walking by at a park and there's somebody else nearby. So the app automatically logs that, oh, that person is nearby you. Of course, the other person has to also have the app. And then it will be able to log, okay, this person that I don't know, I had a proximity contact with. Now, whether that exposure exposure is a minute or 10 minutes or an hour or more, will increase the likelihood of you getting exposed. So the app also takes that into account. The next, if a person develops the symptoms, they then declare through the app or through the system that they are developing symptoms. And then so, let me just take a pause. All right, and then so when a person develops symptoms, the system is notified, or the person notifies the system, and then all the contacts of that person are notified. Now, I couldn't find a picture here where they were all wearing masks. So let's just imagine that they are all supposedly wearing masks and keeping distance. But the point is that then all the other people who had close contacts with this person will be told like, oh, potential exposure, take precautions and monitor yourself. So that's the example for individuals. And now I want to go talk to businesses. Like, what are the contact tracing apps for businesses or the technologies? But before we go there, let's talk about what's usually done now. So what's the starter pack for contact tracing in the Philippines is the security guard with the blue logbook. And I couldn't find a blue logbook photo in the internet. But the point is, you have the security guard and you fill up using a pen and paper, your name, the time, your temperature, your contact number, and you also put your signature to verify that it's actually you. But the point is, this is very primitive, and it's a tool that could be further much more improved by the use of technology. So let's talk about one technology that's pretty common that they use for this application, and these are the QR code systems. So I'm going to discuss how QR code systems work, how to use them, and what happens when somebody develops symptoms. And I'm going to go through some of the examples as well. And actually later, I'm also going to do a quick demo of this. All right, so it's very simple. The way they work is that you do electronic registration usually through a QR code. So on the right side, I have here a QR code poster. This is from New Zealand's QR code system. So what you usually do is you register and then you print the QR code and you let your customer scan it instead of filling up a form. For example, first you register with the QR code system provider, usually through their website. There are many out there. I will go through them later. And when you register, you get an account and you get a QR code. And when you get the QR code, you print this QR code and you place this QR code at the entrance of your venues. And it may be good to have different QR codes for different branches, or maybe even for different rooms in your venue. Okay. And finally, you let your customer scan. So what usually the customer will do or the visitor will do is they scan the QR code, which leads them to an electronic registration form. Now, sometimes some apps, they won't let you keep registering again and again and again because that is a bit of a hassle over time. But at the very least, people have to just input their details using their phone. The benefit of this over the pen and paper is because I am no longer touching the same pen that is touched by many people. And it no longer becomes a congregation point because you can scan, you can move away, you can fill it up. And then when you're done, you can then just come back and like, all right, I'm done. I can go in now. So this also helps reduce bottlenecks, long lines, and congregation areas. And for those apps that have autocomplete or autofill, then it makes the process so much faster. All right. So what happens when somebody has COVID? Okay. So the beauty of this QR code system over the pen and paper is because when you have the pen and paper system, when somebody gets COVID, then you have to look at your logbook, you have to open it, then you have to scan it, and then you have to manually then message the people, you have to manually turn over this data. Everything's manual. So it can be quite a hassle, not only for the people supposed to receive the notifications, to isolate themselves or to take precautions, but it also can be a big hassle to the businesses who have to comply with this and to do this. So the benefit of using the QR code electronic systems is that when somebody gets COVID, what you can just do is go into the system and then filter which people should you notify based on the time of when the COVID positive visitor came into the venue, and then quickly notify those people, and it's done electronically, and you don't have to check a logbook and go over it manually. And some of these systems actually go a step further and they directly integrate with authorities. So not only does the business maintain the database of like the people that visited your store, but in any case there's a COVID positive person, the government or authorities can actually look into the databases of every single business that that person who turned positive visited, and then automatically get the contacts of the people that they've been exposed to, and then notify them without the business having to even put any effort. So that's a useful feature of these systems. Not all have them, but for those that do, this can be very convenient. Okay, so now let's enough slides. Let's go through some examples. All right, so I have handpicked just a few. These are not like I didn't review them or based on like my experience, but I just looked at asked my friends, hey, which ones do you know of? Which ones are already in deployment? Which ones are already being used by businesses right now? And they gave me some of these links, so I'm going to show you. As well as I'm going to demo to you via Google form as well how to create your own contact tracing if you want to do it at the very least for free and for like via just collecting, getting away from pen and paper at the very least. All right. Okay. So we have here Tap Trace. Their slogan is your form for the new norm. You can visit them on Facebook, and you can also use your own QR scanner if you want. And then what's interesting to me is that these are some of the businesses that use them. So this is already in deployment. So I suggest if you're interested, you can also contact them. They are based in Cebu City. Okay, there's an email address here that you can reach. The next one that I also found interesting is something called WeScan. I think this is a sister app of WeTrace, the contact tracing app for individuals. This one is for businesses. So you can also contact them. It works a very similar way. QR code, I think this one might be integrated in some way with authorities. I'm not 100% sure, but you could ask them for that. Another example that I think is on more national level, I think is SafePass. So SafePass, I think, is the sister of the, I think, no, sorry. SafePass is another, it's a QR code app. And if this one is, so they got some logos over here, so you can also contact them as well. Okay. So I'm showing this to you because there are already solutions out there. I don't want you to think that there are none and we're just talking about some stuff that are imaginary. There are already solutions out there that you can use right now. And lastly, I want to talk about QR City. So this one is a bit more enterprise, health and safety risk management tool for enterprise. So what they do is still the same. QR code system for the rooms, and then your employees can scan, users can scan using the app. And then whenever there is a COVID positive case, then you can notify people that were exposed to that person. So those are the apps. Now I want to show you how to actually do this on your own using Google Form. And this will not have the automatic authority integration, but at least we can do away with the pen and paper. So I am here. I have a Google Form. So I go in here and I can create a Google Form, and I've already created just so that for the sake of time. So I put in here, this is synf.co, that's my company. We have a synf.co office contact tracing form, although right now we're all working remotely. But let's imagine there's an office and people visit it. Instead of pen and paper, we just we create this form. So we got their name, we get their phone number, and I think temperature is a common field. So we create that. And then for responses, I wanted to go to a online spreadsheet. So I click that and it creates this online spreadsheet. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see all of it. So I have this online spreadsheet. There's nothing right there right now. So I have this, and then lastly, I want to publish it. So I publish it by clicking this settings, and I say, okay, it's public. That's good. So I save that. And then I'm going to send it. And I send it via email. No, I don't want to do email. I want to do it via link. So I click this link thing over here, and I have this link. Now, this link is quite long and it's hard to type. So what I do instead is I am going to convert it into a QR code. And that's what we want, right? We want a QR code. So we go to Google and we just type QR code generator. So these things are public and they're for free. So I have here on the second one, QR code generator, create your free QR code. So I go on here, I click that, I enter my website text. That's a text from my form over here. Okay, I click that and I press this download that JPG. All right. So this will load and it's now generating my QR code. Um, it's also showing me an ad at the same time. All right. So okay, so I think there's a downloaded QR code. Let's open that and see what it contains. Okay, so now that's the QR code. Okay, so I go into my, let me show you my phone first. So I screen share my phone. Hold on. Let me screen share my phone. Whoops. Okay, I want to, there you go. Okay, so that's my phone right now. I open my camera. I'm using an iPhone, but this also works on Android. So as you can see my table. And then you can see my laptop. And then we scan the QR code and it says open in Safari. So I click that. And then, okay, so what do I see? I see the SIMF.co office contact tracing form. And so I answer Albert Padin. And then I put in my phone number. Let's just pretend because this is in public. I want to keep my phone number a little bit secret. And temperature is normal 37. I think that's a normal. So I'll pretend that it's there. I press submit. And that's it. It's as easy as that. And so now let's go back into our our online spreadsheet. And as you can see, I already have a timestamp here at exactly 15:04. That's 3:04 p.m. Albert Padin, that's the phone number, and temperature is 37. So now I have a record of everybody without having to do with the pen and paper thing. As you can see, you can do this for free using Google Forms. However, if you want a more professional, more integrated, more custom-made solution for your business, there are definitely a lot out there, which I mentioned. TapTrace is one. There's the WeScan. There's the SafePass. I think there's also a QR City. There's also a bit more. Um, there's ClearPass as well, which I wasn't able to show here. And there's a lot. So let me just continue. Actually, my last slide over here is just more info. And maybe you can take a picture here, take a screenshot or whatever. So WeScan, that's WeScan.ph, TapTrace.app, SafePass.asia, QR City. You can contact Connie at aleftalent. I think that's .ph or .com. Just email both. And then finally, you can also do a Google form, and there are many out there as well. Yeah, and I think that's it from me. And I hope you were able to learn something from this time. And my call to action really to everybody is that the technology is already there. There are some of them are even for free. So let's really take advantage of it to do away with or to do less of. Of course, not everybody has internet and a smartphone, but a lot of us do. And so for those, let's adopt a more electronic, a better solution that may not even cost us more. And let's do that. So together we can do this. And as DTI's call to action is, we can all recover. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Albert, for that very insightful discussion. And thank you for showing us different ways to actually use technology to do smarter contact tracing, Albert. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of us have learned many things from you this afternoon. So hopefully, guys, we are all inspired by Albert and we'll be able to use our smartphones or internet for better use as well. Like you are right now watching this webinar is a good use for technology, but take it a step further and please do use it for smarter contact tracing. Albert, take care. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Again, guys, if you have any questions, kung may mga tanong po kayo regarding the discussions that we've had this afternoon, stay tuned. Huwag kayong umuwi because we are going to be having a panel discussion later with some of our speakers. And that is going to be the space where you get to ask your questions. Kung may mga tanong kayo, may mga clarifications na gusto nyong ipaalam sa ating mga speakers, that is the perfect avenue for all of you guys. So yes, we have talked about the technologies for smarter contact tracing, and there will be more discussions in a while. But before that, get ready because we are asking you guys to take a small or short break na naman to prepare ourselves for the next sessions. And I'll see you guys in 1 minute.